Page 12.
Da pala ya se chugging a drum yet pe ma jane shesra good kandra ma pa ke jesu ta ki la chisha the sa good pay my city om ahum ma benza good pay my city ma benza good city. Buddha, guide us, bless us, empower us. Benza Guru Pema 17. Do we have it? Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Benza Siddhi. Lotus-born Master, enliven each of us. Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Beam light into each of us, illumining us. Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema. Awaken us, aware us. Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahung Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Merge with each of us through white Om, red blue Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. White, red, and blue. Om American Buddhas awaken. Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Awakening the Buddha-ness within. Om Pema Siddhi. Awakening to the Buddha within. Om Benza Guru Guru Pema. Within each of us, within you, within all of us. Benza Guru Pema Se. Gorgeous, splendiferous, radiant, serene Buddha. Benza Guru Pema. Calm and clear, imperturbable. Benza Guru Pema Se. Primordial Buddha, pre-enlightened. Om Benza Guru Pema Se. Om Benza Guru Se. Om Benza Guru Pema Se. Read the board. Om Ami Dewa Hri Om Mani Padme Hri Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Se. This is on page 7 of your glorious prayer book. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Se Zel Benza Samaya Za Siddhi Palahunga. Om Ame Dewa Hri. Page 17. Ani Padme Hri. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Se Deo. Om Ame Dewa Guru Pema Tertenza Samaya Za Siddhi Palahunga. Om Ami Dewa Hri Om Mani Padme Hri. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Se Deo. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Tertenza Yada Siddhi Palahunga. Om Ami Dewa Hri Om Mani Padme Hri. Pema Se Deo. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Tertenza Siddhi Palahunga. Om Ami Dewa Hri Mani Padme Hri. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Se Deo. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Tertenza Maya Za Siddhi Palahunga. Om Ami Dewa Hri Om Mani Padme Hri. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Se Deo. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Tertenza Benza Samaya Za Siddhi Palahunga. Amitabha Buddha Om Ami Dewa Hri Avalokita Ni Padme Hri. Guru Rinpoche Padmasambhava, the lotus born Benza Guru Pema Se Deo. And the Guru with the skull bone rosary mantra. Benza Guru Pema Zel Benza Samaya Za Siddhi Palahunga. Ami Dewa Hri mane padme ore. Om benza guru padma siddhi om. Om ahum benza guru padma siddhi benza samaya pala Vabe Dewari Mane Padme Ore Om Padma Siddhi Om Ahum Benza Guru Padma Siddhi Benza Samaya Siddhi Palahung Om Amidewari Mane Masiddhi Om Ahum Benza Guru Padma Siddhi Samaya Siddhi Palahunga Om Mane Padme Ore Guru Padma Siddhi Om Ahum Benza Guru Padma Siddhi Samaya Siddhi Palahunga Om Amidewari Om Mane Padme Ore Om Ahum Benza Om Ahum Benza Guru Padma Samaya Siddhi Palahunga. Gently, softly, Om Amitabha, Buddha of infinite light. Avalokita, Buddha of compassionate love. Lotus-born Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava, the unfolding blossom within our own heart. Om three kayas, three jewels, awakened body, awakened speech and energy, awakened heart-mind. The three jewels, three kayas within us. Om Amidewari Om infinite emptiness, infinite radiant clarity and awareness, infinite compassionate responsiveness, the three kayas within our own mind nature. Om emptiness, radiance, and unobstructed responsiveness, compassion and action. Pala, the view, the vast void, the meditation, infinite awareness, and the action of Buddha activity, unobstructed, compassionate, selfless action. Om Amidewari Sagur. All included in the mantra of the Guru with the skull bone mala, the skull bone rosary, lovingly known as the skull bone mala wala. Om Mane Padme Ore Om Ahum Benza. O Guru with the skull bone rosary, may we become just like you, egoless, deathless, a light in this dark world. Benza Samaya, a wish-fulfilling jewel. All that is wanted and needed and aspired towards. A Mahabodhisattva, an awakener, an edifier, a sacred spiritual warrior, peaceful warrior. A Mahabodhisattva, a Buddha in this world. Spiritual elder, wise leader, service-oriented leader. Benza, mentor, benefactor, healer. empowerer, awakener. Pema Siddhi Om Benza Guru Pema Tertenza Benza Samayata Allahunga. How sweet it is. Joyous Dharma, joyous spirit of awakening. Delicious bodhicitta. How sweet it is. Nimaho. Beginning as always with breathing, sitting, being. The three inner meditators' jewels, just sitting, natural body, just breathing, natural breath and energy. Third, just being, natural heart, mind. To elaborate, natural body is Buddha body, Nirmanakaya Tuku, perfect embodiment, living Buddha, let it be. Just sitting, natural, on the spot, on the dot. Fully inhabiting the present moment. Second, just breathing, natural breath and energy is Buddha's breath, Sambhogakaya. Pure energy, total flow, let it go. Just breathing. Let the gentle tides of breath wash everything else away. Energizing, harmonizing, rejuvenating. Just sitting, just breathing. A third, just being. Aware, awakeful, present and accounted for. Natural mind, as it is Buddha's heart mind, Dharmakaya, ultimate reality, Buddha mind, let it be. Without interference or manipulation, reaction, judgment, and evaluation. Without pushing or pulling, attraction or aversion. Simply resting in open awareness, abiding by open awareness, the view, the meditation of non-meditation, and then actual non-action, Buddha activity. View like the sky, meditation like a mountain. Whatever comes up, the inner activity, Buddha activity, the ripples on the pond or on the stream, the ocean's waves. Yet the ocean, the river, the pond never leaves its comfy, cozy bed. Imaho. Enjoy the joy of natural meditation. Right now. Nowness awareness, Tata Shepa, the real Buddha. Let go and let Buddha do it through you. Just sitting, just breathing, just being. Imaho. sky gazing, space mingling, dissolving in the infinite, decontracting, letting be. Seeing through the illusory confines, the bubble-like ego or self-separation. Awareness, aware of awareness. Awareness transparent to itself, feeding itself, nourishing itself. Self-reflective awareness. Transparent, translucent, iridescent, transrealescent awareness, space of awareness, the bigger picture, the great sphere, the ultimate sphere, the great Tigli, being that, enjoying whatever momentary arises in the snow globe of the great sphere, the great Tigli of Dharmakaya. Like a snow globe becomes clear when you stop shaking it. Everything self-settles when you release your body, release your breath and speech expressions, release, allow, let go of your mentation, your mental processes, thoughts, perceptions, feelings, in the natural flow, the natural innate awareness, the innate wakefulness of this moment. Buddha nature is human nature. The essence of thoughts is Dharmakaya awareness, as the Lama said. Seeing through everything, all momentary, illusory, ownless, impermanent appearances. Seeing through oneself, seeing Buddha, being Buddha. Kuntazampo, Imaho. Don't fall off your seat, your throne, into dualistic grasping. Getting hooked and pulled off your throne. Kuntazampo. Be Buddha. And I was a little tune-up, chanting the fivefold wisdom hung with a big breath. The oceanic hung. Again. Now chopping everything to pieces with the nuclear reactor Tomahawk cruise missile hung. Hung, 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 hung out, hung, 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 happy hung, hippie hung. Just hung out in the view, nothing more to do. sweet it is. The natural flu. Imahu. All one rhyme, poem, symphony. What a delight. The best show in town. The splendid parade of the Dharmakaya awareness as the fearless master sang. Imaho. Now further breaking up our mental fixations and fabrications, fixed state of mind, or as I like to call it, the ice forming over the free-flowing waters of awareness, with the lightning-like upward gaze taught by the Dzogchen Master, 5th Dalai Lama, the lightning-like upward gaze, flicking your gaze, not your head, you're flicking your eyeballs up a few times, breaking up the fixations. Hard to keep thinking in a straight line when you do that, and breathing out and letting go. The lightning-like upward glance taught by the Dalai Lama, how silly, how freeing. He liked to do it anyway. And then breathe out, rest in the view. Fresh, wakeful, starting again. Dawn of creation, a whole new day, a whole new life, a whole new moment, a whole new being. If you're not selfing, carrying your long vestigial tail along with you. Self-story. This moment, the only moment, this breath, only moment. Luminous, nowness awareness. Senseless openness, the natural state, the natural great perfection. Buddha mind, one's own true nature. Now flicking the eyes right and left with the Haruka-like gleeful dance of the wrathful beings. And at the end, breathing out, doing a little EMDR to break up your mental fixations, traumas, and hang-ups. 2,000 years old, EMDR movements. Right, left a few times with a gleeful ha-ha-yee, 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 and breathing out and letting be. Bring a little crazy wisdom into our serious deliberations here. Imaha. Enjoy the natural grape confection. How sweet it is. Gate,
bottom of page 20.
Gate, Parasangate, Bodhiswaha, Gate, Paragate, Swaha, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhiswaha, Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhiswaha, Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhiswaha, Gate, Paragate, gate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate 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 parasangate bodhi. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate bodhi swaha. Gate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi. Gate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate swaha. Gate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate parasangate bodhi. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Gate bodhi swaha. Gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha. Beyond, totally beyond even the beyond, transcendent yet imminent, right here and now, a wakefulness, swaha, far out. Hallelujah, amen. Amazing, yes. Swaha, imaho. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Homage to Prajna Paramita, transcendental wisdom, the mother of all the Buddhas, mother of enlightenment, womb of enlightenment, Mahashunyata, the great shining void, the overflowing effulgent void, the womb of emptiness. Homage to Prajna Paramita, transcendental wisdom, the wish-fulfilling jewel, the pearl of great price. May all realize it and be benefited by it. We've been chanting the mantra, which is the heart of the Heart Sutra, the Prajnaparamita Hridaya Heart Sutra, which I introduced the other day. This is a whole study in itself. There are excellent Dharma talks and books on it also you can read. But the sutra itself, just chanting it, just saying it, is really the way to study it. and especially the mantra, which is the heart of the sutra, this beyondness mantra, this gate mantra. Gate means beyond. This is the sutra spoken by Buddha, the scripture sutra. Sutra means to sew, so it will bring it all together, connect the dots from the ancient language. Where it says here, all things, look at paragraph 3, all things are marked by shunyata, so-called emptiness or insubstantiality, not a thingness, no separation. All things are characterized by or sealed by, or their nature is shunyata. I hate translating as emptiness. It's so nihilistic, so empty, so one-sided. Empty fullness, oneness if you like, insubstantiality, not a thingness, subjectivity. Things are not what they seem to be, nor are they otherwise. The mind has to stop right there, and yet there is more that can be experienced beyond the mind, transconceptual. All things characterized by shunyata. Not pure and not impure, as it says here. They're not born and they don't die. Buddha talked about deathless nirvana, deathless Buddha nature, not eternal like a long-lasting thing, as all things which come into being eventually fall apart. But don't believe that rumor. Check it out and see if there's anything that lasts, large or small. Things cycle, recycle, and so on, in the greater ecology of being, all interconnected, interwoven, interbeing, not separate, coming out of nowhere and then disappearing again. Not born and not destroyed, deathless, birthless, dharmakaya nature. Unstained, not stained, not pure. None of these concepts. They're beyond concepts of gain or profit or progress, and without loss or degeneration. See, the whole Dzogchen teaching is right here in the Mahayana Sutras. This isn't something that Tibetans made up high on little oxygen. Therefore, beloved friends, in shunyata there is no form, no feelings, no thoughts. What? I'm full of feelings and thoughts. Am I the only one? No thoughts, no consciousness. What? Even worse, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. I don't mind, no matter, you don't matter. What? No, nothing? But then it's really something, ain't it? I mean, look at this magical display. What a great show. All of this reminding us of things are not what they seem to be. There's no table here. It's just two steamer trunks piled on top of each other with a blue cloth over it. There's no altar. There's just something, a shelf that we turned into an altar by putting a statue on it and facing that way. Somebody else comes in this room, they might say, that's a nice antique. Where can I buy one? Maybe they don't know the word Buddha or altar. They think it's an antique. Or worse, a demon, a gilded calf. They don't know what the word Buddha stands for, that it's a mirror of our true nature that has no form. So this is the shunyata teaching, the highest wisdom, deepest wisdom of Buddhism, the hardest nut to crack in Buddhist philosophy, shunyata. Not just no self, but no separate entityness of things either. Anatta, no separate self. Shunyata, no separate thingness of anything, everything interconnected, interwoven, interbeing. But check it out and you see if you're not relational with others. We only know ourselves in relation to others. That's why Martin Buber, the great Jewish philosopher and sage of the last century, who wrote the famous I, Thou book and other many things, he said, all life is about encounter, relationship, the moment of encounter, of relationship. I, thou, or do we treat it as objects? I, it, what can I get from it? I want it, I don't want it. Or I, thou, darshan, divine audience, pure perception. I, thou, thou, not just an old word, meaning raising the level of this encounter, recognizing the thou, the sacred other. I, thou makes the sacred we, the sacred third, not just me, myself, and I, the three fools, jewels. The three stooges that we usually take refuge in. The three Jews, as I lovingly call them. I, me, myself, and I. Well, at least we speak the same language. At least we understand each other. Do we? But the three jewels, enlightenment, the truth, Buddha, Dharma, knowing, practicing the truth, knowing the truth, true practice, authenticity, and Sangha, true connection, true community, embodying the truth. Not just outer community, embodying the truth, Sangha, in ourselves. But here it says, no body, no nose, oh no, and it continues. What? No Buddha, no anything? No color, no eye, no near, no, oh, just go a little further into this dense paragraph. No ignorance and no ending of ignorance. Oh, I thought the path of Buddhism was all about awakening from ignorance and how the First Noble Truth is that everything sucks and then we die. Oh no, that's existentialism. And the First Noble Truth is skruka, dukkha, how unenlightened life is full of suffering and dysfunction. Skruka, as I love to call it. Once you realize that you're screwed from the beginning, then you can live more lightly. Skruka. That may be my sole long-lasting contribution to Buddhist scholarship. No, that's not true. I also coined the term Narodakaya. I'm proud of that. What? No suffering and no source of suffering? Anybody see this line? No suffering and no source of suffering. No dukkha, no source of dissatisfactoriness, no cessation, no path. This moron just whacked out the whole Four Noble Truths. Oh no, Buddha said it? What? No Four Noble Truths? And even worse, look at the next line, no wisdom and no attainment. I thought this was the wisdom scripture where we're going to get wisdom from. What? Oh, I get it. It's kind of Zen-like. The wisdom of no wisdom. Now I see. Yeah. You see, nothing in the wrong way, though. I see nothing. But it goes on. It doesn't just stop there with some kind of nihilism or depressiveness, like vacuum, nothing. Absolute zero, no energy, no heat, no movement, nothing. You know, vacuum chamber, like black hole. Even light can't come out. Just like, you can't even breathe. No, having nothing to attain. Bodhisattvas live, enjoy prajnaparamitas, great wisdom with no hindrance in the mind, like concepts of what they need, what they're missing, what they can attain, how my body is like this or that, and I'm somebody like this or that. So limited, so narrow. No hindrance, thus no fear. Ooh, this is starting to sound good. This nothingness can bring no fear also? Wow, now I'm getting interested again. Far beyond delusive, dualistic, delusive, obscured thinking, distorted, selfish thinking, they attain, enjoy, actualize complete nirvana here and now. Ah, how sweet it is. All the Buddhas, past, present, and future, live this transcendental wisdom, prajnaparamita, innate gnosis, this liberating freedom, and thus attain anuttara samyak sambodhi, unshakable, peerless, unexcelled, perfect enlightenment. Not just a little epiphany, satori, or breakthrough, but anuttara samyak sambodhi, it says here in Sanskrit, on a peer with the Buddha himself. Unexcelled, supreme, unshakable enlightenment. Total bliss, freedom, deathless ease. Buddha himself said everything is all conditioned things are impermanent, but he also said nirvana is not impermanent. Space is not impermanent. There is something deeper in the enlightened life. Buddha called nirvana deathless ease, deathless bliss, deathless peace. Deathless. Not just being nothing. Who wants to become nothing? I want to become somebody. You know, Zorba the Buddha. Well, good luck, enjoy it. So this is a marvelous teaching, and there's a lot here that are is at the root of the Dzogchen teaching of nowhere to go and nothing to get, no one to get there. Of nothing to do. The meditation of non-meditation. This isn't just fast double talk. Not make meditation into what Trungpa Rinpoche brilliantly called mere mental calisthenics. But going deeper into really a well-rounded and grounded, holistic health program, resolving all conflicts and all that afflicts us, such as dualistic separation and so on, not just physical disease and ailments. How come you never ask about how I am? How are you? Don't ask. You don't want to know. Thus have I heard from my parents. May they rest in peace. Actually, my mother was here once and sat in the back and listened. She also used to come, my parents, when they both alive 15 years ago, to Lake Canandaigua, New York. They liked to go there for our summer retreat to visit. They would stay at a motel on the big, beautiful Finger Lakes and come up and visit for what she called it, my sermons at night. And they would sit in the back, in a chair. Usually I would host them around like Julie Forsythe or Maggie or John McCransky or somebody nice. We don't have anybody like that anymore, but we used to have nice people around. And my mother would just I think she usually waited till the end of my sermon, but she wouldn't put up her hand or anything. She would just shout things out from the back, Let people know that the Lama's mother was there, and and then they would all turn around, like, whoa, wow, something new and interesting happening, wow. See where the devil's spawn came from. And she would always preface it, part of letting them know she was Lama. She couldn't just say that. That would be too apparent, she'd say. Surya Das. By the way, I'm the Lama's mother, so I don't have to put up my hand to be recognized. He's been my disciple for 50 years. He was only with those Tibetan Lamas for 30. I'm the Mama Lama. No, not the Lama's mama, the Mama Lama. She was very funny. That's where I get my shtick. She was a disciple of the Catskill comedian Sam Levinson. Maybe some of you remember him. He was one of the second rank of Catskill comedians, but quite well known. And he was her Spanish teacher in high school. He was a Spanish and French teacher in Brooklyn in the 1930s. So she's of that lineage. She only told me that when she was, I must have been 40 years old before I got this important lineage information. So just staying right here on the beam here about Shunyata and the Heart Sutra, where it all comes from, Mother Prajnaparamita. You see, it's all connected. If you just widen the frame enough, it's all connected in the Buddha mind. In the overarching underpinning Nadavindra, in which everything, every interstices is a pearl or a diamond that reflects all the others, a 2,000-year-old image of holographic reality of the mandala, in which every interstices, every place it crosses, every being, as it were, every moment is a jeweled mirror or diamond that reflects and includes all the others, all in one, one in all. It's an ancient Buddhist philosophy, Hindu philosophy, from which Dumas got that slogan for his Three Musketeers, all in one, one in all. We see it in the mandala principle of old. We see it in the holographic principle these days, that the whole picture is in each pixel, or what's it called, holon, or whatever it is in the holograph. The whole mandala is in each part. It's all center. No one is further from the center, from the ultimate than anyone else. Fractal? I don't know. That's a different thing about crystal. I don't know. I just make up stories to fill the time. Shunyata is a very difficult subject, so I don't want to go into all that now. You can study the Heart Sutras. We call studying chanting the mantra. And if you really want to study it, chant the words of the whole page. There are actually 10,000 verses of the whole long sutra. It's just the heart of it, but unless it does exist in English, you can read it translated, but it's very complex and abstruse. There are good books on the subject, too numerous to mention, but for most of us, we're already, not like we're really well educated, but we are overeducated and underexperienced. So I like to teach the practicing lineage and practice together, not just study about Buddhism or study Buddhism, but really transmit Dharma and practice it and become it and realize it. So that's our way here. There's a lot more to say about the Heart Sutra and its great benefits, but I wanted to talk more about our specific practice here this week. Continue on with my presentation of the view meditation in action. I want to talk about a few of the quickies, as I call them, that I've introduced as tune-ups during the main practice of naked awareness, sky gazing, Dreg-Chud practice. Tune-ups like earlier in the week, the self-inquiry question. When we're finding maybe we're distracted, we take a deep breath and we start again. We'll chant, ah. That's one tune-up. To refresh and revivify the corpse of natural awareness, to remember what we're doing, and so forth. As the Lama was saying yesterday, to remember, and also not to forget that we've forgotten, to remember that we're forgetting and come back to remembering what we're doing. Is that double talk? I don't think so. It's mindfulness to remember what we're doing. And notice when we forget, not to forget we've forgotten and just get carried away. To remember we're forgetting. The essence of meditation is actually awareness continually returning to its own nature, resting in its own nature, and when we notice the pull returning to its own nature. Like the fish smelling the bait, nibbling the bait, and returning to the sea rather than biting and being pulled out. If you want to talk about in basic meditation terms, mindfulness is not just concentration. Mindfulness is deeper and broader. Panoramic awareness, we call it in Tibetan. Shamatha in Tibetan. Vipassana. Lakthang in Tibetan, higher seeing, panoramic awareness. Vipassana in Sanskrit or Pali. They call it insight meditation. Panoramic awareness. Being aware when we're distracted, when the mind wavers, using the leash of mindfulness to remember the object of attention and come back. That's technical talk. If you're watching the breath, using the leash of mindfulness to come back to the breath. If we're doing candle concentration, candle flame, when the mind wanders off the candle flame, using the leash of mindfulness to come back to the candle flame. It's like weightlifting. Anybody do any weightlifting? Mike, you look like you do weightlifting. Do you just hold the dumbbell here, like a dumbbell? Or is this how you firmify the muscle? That's mindfulness. The mind wanders and you bring it back. The mind wanders and you bring it back. You start thinking about the past and you bring it back. That's how you strengthen the innate mindfulness. Keep bringing it back to the object of attention in the present moment. Now in this Dzogchen meditation, we're not doing that concentration on one pointedness. It's more panoramic, sky-like awareness. But there's still the principle here, more subtly, of bringing it back. When you find yourself distracted, one of these tune-ups, which is what I'm talking about now, like the breath and on, starting again. Fresh, wakeful, sky-gazing, follow the out-breath and back to the present moment. Openness and awareness, inseparable. You with me? Or another tune-up, looking into who is distracted. Let's say you start thinking about, oh, why did so-and-so say, why did Christopher say, watch a mahula to me at our meeting this morning? That bastard. Who is mad? Who is angry? Turning away from what he did to what I'm doing. From the object, the outer stimulus, the quote, other, to the subject that we're created, this enemy that we're creating, this thing we're reacting to, this bait we're biting. Oh. Who or what is a good tune-up? Who or what is thinking about that? Is that feeling anger? Or what did we talk about yesterday? Somebody asked about agitation. Who what is agitated? Now, none of these tune-ups all work for everyone, but some work for someone. Most work for most people. Find the one or ones that work for you. Like finding the natural meditation that works for you, which element it is, water or fire or wind, maybe being outdoors. You know, nature is the ultimate original spirituality. Find what works for you. So in this case, who or what is agitated? Punctures, when I do it, it punctures the pressure on me, like when I'm hurrying, when I'm in the car, gripping the wheel, pushing, you know, like with 2 feet, one on the gas and one on the brake to save time. Or you're sitting at a light and you got your foot jammed on the brake, you know. First of all, you could have it lightly on the brake. Second of all, you could put it in neutral or park, I guess. I don't know if your car still has those gears. I don't know. You probably have a Prius that just does it all itself without any carbon fuels or whatever at all, or gears or grease. You know, it just kind of rolls along. See, I know all about cars. Vehicles as we call them in Buddhism. You know, you're gripping the wheel, you're sitting at the wheel, gripping the wheel like you're going to get there faster if you're like, you know, like a sprinter just about to go. When the light changes, you peel out, leaving rubber, even though you're totally chock-a-block in traffic on the Long Island Expressway or wherever. Ooh, the side one is yellow. I'm almost ready to get green. Oh, there's a big Hummer in front of me or a truck. Well, anyway, I'm ready. So tense. No wonder why we have all these symptoms of stress, high blood pressure, and other problems, physical and mental. But in that moment, if we can look into who's hurrying, doesn't it puncture that pressurized like balloon? It's not even a balloon, it's like a big bubble gum. Remember bubble gum? The bigger you blow it until what happens? Do you get a big, beautiful blimp-like thing that floats off? What do you get? We're blowing it up so big all the time. Oh, who is hurrying? Oh, there's nowhere to hurry anyway. It's still a red light. I could just be sitting in my seat. Oh, wow, I am sitting in my seat. Radical. Sudden awakening to the I am, to the isness. Wow, I don't do anything. I'm already sitting in my seat. Fantastic. Awesome. That's a moment of a little awakening. So, the self-inquiry question, who or what is angry? The turning towards, defocusing on the outer stimulus and object and being more in the master position, making the subject the object and even going deeper and bursting that separation that makes pressure, bumper cars as I call it. When there's two, there's bumper cars. Subject, object, and interaction, the bumper cars, Buddhist psychology. Another one is shouting pet to wake ourselves up. I talked about that earlier. Pet! Breaking through the ice, forming on the free-flowing waters of natural awareness. Another one is the camel fart, the lion, the tiger's roar, whatever. Which is fun and funny, which is the point. You know, in India, I have to say this so you don't just think I'm making this up from my last visit to Laguna Beach. In India, there's laughing meditation now. Hundreds of people get together with the guru, laughing guru, and they laugh together. We should have more of that here. Here we have yawning meditation. We have all kinds of things. You know, how about a laughing, chanting meditation? I mean, it's silly. We should have laughing meditation more. Gets you out of your head. Today I mentioned, well, a couple of days ago we talked about the 5 wisdom hungs. That's a good one from the Tibetan Dzogchen tradition, the hunging. You could do the cosmic, oceanic hung, hung, hung. You can do the nuclear reactive, chopping everything to pieces, Tomahawk cruise missile-like hung. Hung, 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 hung. You can do the shooting star hung. Hung, hung. Different kinds of energy work. Different mind states. Being the master, playing with them like the magician playing with his apparitions, his or her apparitions, rather than being caught up by them. Oh no, I'm gonna get run over by that elephant that I created. Pygmalion, oh, I'm in love with this statue that I made. She's my soulmate. Why doesn't she say she loves me back? Statue that I made. Why doesn't she say she loves me back? Today I introduced the 5th Dalai Lama's lightning-like upward gaze, and the left to right mad yogi or wrathful dakini, heruka, gleeful dance. When we do it more in physical, we do it like this, and with the feet. Standing up, and then to the sky. So sitting, just break up the mental formations. So these are some quickies, tips and pointers, little tools you can do to break up, to puncture the solidity of a claustrophobic meditation, or by extension in life, puncture the solidity of a claustrophobic day. In your cubicle at your office, maybe you don't have cubicles anymore, you just stand up and you do that. Or you just take a breath, smile and relax, then go back to your intense multitasking, demanding office work, or whatever you do. Sometimes it's enough just do the inner pet in meditation or in life. That's how it comes to me anyway, just the inner pet. You don't have to make a big sound and freak everybody out and then have to answer for that. Be practical. You know, you can have these many quickies at work. You don't have to sit cross-legged on your desk and make a fool of yourself like the person with the hats showing off. Oh, I'm meditating. Sit on your desk like an idiot, or in the subway platform, cross-legged, waiting for the train to come. Especially in New York, you'll just get trampled to death anyway. It's the main attention you'll get. Practical. Buddha said himself, there are 4 main positions for meditation practice. Let me see if I can remember them. It's kind of esoteric. You might want to take notes. Sitting, thanks Buddha, big news. Sitting, standing, oh, that might be interesting. I didn't know there was standing meditation. Walking, walking meditation, you can cultivate mindful awareness while you're walking. And then the 4th one is, guess what? Any guesses? Lying down, radical. But what is he really saying? Every position. You can cultivate mindfulness, you can meditate in every position. You don't have to cross your legs and close your eyes or have perfect quiet or put in earplugs or go away to the country on your vacation. Wait till your vacation to do it. No, why wait? How about when you're standing waiting for the train or the elevator? Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a genius, a master of modern little practices, and here's a good practice. And we all say we don't have enough time. Also, this is a good practice of mindfulness. Anybody remember his telephone instructions? I don't know, we used to have telephones, they used to sit on desks and they used to ring. I don't know what we have now. We have things that buzz in our pocket. We have like things that, you know, in our ear, I don't know. Let's go back in time to the Buddha's time. When the phone rings, you let it ring an extra time. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Let me remind you, phones used to sound like brrr, brrr, you know, or longer or something, right? Now it's like da 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 da, or whatever, you know, whatever music, whatever crazy shit you have on there that sounds like music, or is whatever it is, you know. So let it ring an extra time. Phone. Breathe, relax, smile. Then pick up the phone. He teaches us. Isn't that a great idea? Think of all the time you can create in your busy life. Moments of mindfulness throughout the day. Many quickies rather than few prolongies, as we say in the Tibetan tradition. Just like in our meditation session, not trying to sit longer and longer and dozing. Go for the quality. Many quickies. Bright, quick, short, awake, and break it up and start again. Rather than getting into a comfort zone, like what they call when the plane is circling, a holding pattern and being stuck there. Oh, why did he have to ring that gong? I'm having such a good meditation. I'm going to sit here through lunch. Then after lunch, you know, you're not having such a good, you know, it's time to, you have to go to the bathroom or something, so you go down and then you think about lunch, you go to the lunchroom and there's no food. I used to be like that. Very much into meditation and samadhi and concentration and longer is better and, you know, 3-month retreats and 3-year retreats and 3 lifetime retreats and everything. Hundreds of thousands of vows and mantras, millions, literally. Because that's the Tibetan practice tradition over years, and doing all these different this and that's, trying to get somewhere and find something that works. And hopeless, but you know, still trying. So I'd be sitting there. So one of my teachers finally busted me. You know, the teachers, you know, like me, are very humble and, you know, all accepting and all good, and see everybody as Buddha, whatever they do, whatever crazy ass shit they lay on you as Buddha activity, thank you very much, and, you know. But this kind teacher reached out further and risked saying, tapped me on the shoulder, said, why are you still sitting here? Didn't you hear the gong ring? We all got up from in the hall and I was still sitting there. This is actually not a 3-year retreat. And he said, didn't you hear the gong ring? It's time for lunch. I said, yeah. He said, so go to lunch. He didn't have to make a big explanation. It's like, what are you holding on to? When the gong rings, you're supposed to salivate, dog. Not wait. Naturalness is the way, remember? Not making a trip of it. I'm sitting there as if I have my coonskin hat on, like Buddha. Everybody else is done, but I meditate more because I'm, you know, gonna get there now or first or whatever, you know, better. Alpha achievement. No. Flow from one thing to the next, and then break it down to every moment. Just flow from one thing to the next. This next step is the only step we have to make. We don't have to worry about the goal. It's good, you know, once in a while to evaluate how you're doing in the bigger picture. Like Lama said yesterday, whether your life's getting better or falling apart, or you're becoming hard-hearted or more, you know, generous and empathic, warm-hearted. Of course, but not evaluate every moment. Oh, should I stay married or not? You know, every moment of the day does not a marriage make. Once in a while, once a year, once a decade, I don't know, once a therapy, I don't know, you might, but not every second. But every second, yes, just being there and letting the next second present itself. That's what we forget. We learn in meditation to let go. We even get good at it. But then in life, we get right to, oh, a thought comes up and you have to react to it rather than waiting, not just letting it go. That's sometimes hard to do, but we forget that something else will come up anyway. Something else will come up anyway. Can we accommodate that? Something else will come up anyway. So these short quickies, these little tips and pointers, can be very helpful, I think, I found. The self-inquiry, the pet, the hunging, this thing with the glances and so on. And there are innumerable ones and ways we can bring into our meditation session to keep it fresh and wakeful and quality, not just quantity of time as if we're getting paid by the minute. And also bring it into our life. Puncture the claustrophobia of an intense day or hour or mind state. Take a moment. Who doesn't have a moment to do it in your desk or on the potty throughout the day? Not just wait till you get home at night or the next morning or the Sunday when you have time. After you wake up at 11:30 a.m., you know, you have time. Every moment is that moment. Just like every position is the position for cultivating awareness, as Buddha said. Questions, please. And that's the way to integrate it into daily life, which is becoming our theme now, from now on. Of course, from the point of view of the view and the meditation, but the action, integrating with daily life, which I'll talk about more next time I teach. This afternoon, Mirabai Bush is coming, my old Dharma friend, and I will introduce her then. Questions? Yes? Yeshe? Yeshe means wisdom awareness, doesn't it? That's quite a name to live up to and into.
I have a question, but first I wanted to finish your story about your mom coming to...
Okay.
Well, a finish, an ending.
Coming to, is this about Canandaigua, Lake Canandaigua,
Yeah,
the Finger Lakes of Western New York?
Yeah, the hall was a little, you know, a little different than this, but she used to sit, you know, right where the table is, right where...
Where Linda's sitting, over there, that table?
Where are you, Linda? Well, you know, but yeah, back there. And then there were stairs that went up to an upper level behind. And when Jeffrey was finished with his Dharma
sermon,
talk, he would walk back and to take her hand, and they would walk up the stairs together. And it was really something. It was really something.
Thanks for reminding me of that.
Yeah, and as for me, I was in that 5-year period when you really watch your teacher, you know, like the Dalai Lama says. And,
You mean checking him out in the beginning?
Check him out. And I figured, somebody who is so nice to his mom, probably I could trust him. So my question is about transmission. And I've been thinking, especially in the beginning of the week, do you remember when you talked about the little semicolons at the end of the lines in the book? That those things are all...
In the Tibetan, those like percentage marks.
Those are all, so all these things are transmissions, or are they, is that the right word?
Technically, they're those revelations, but yeah, it's transmission, it's not just information. Like teaching about Buddhism and its history and its tenets and doctrines is more informational learning.
Yeah.
But then there's like the intent here, you know, like from the Buddha and our teachers down until now is the transmission of the living truth of Dharma, the spirit of the law, of universal law, not just the letter of it. That's the transmission. So there's like curriculum and teachings and books and things, and then there's the commentaries on them. Mm-hmm. There's the sutras and the shastras, and then there's the tantras, another kind of texts and practices. And then there's the pithy instructions that are like one-to-one pithy pointers, like your parent or older sister teaching you how to tie your shoes. Not something you get from books or school or in a group lecture. And then there's the transmission that's even more mind to mind, with or without words. It could be symbolic. Like when one master pointed to the sky, like, very intensely, and the next master, I think it was the lion-faced master, pointed to the sky, and the next master, Manjushri Baba, suddenly realized the infinite void with no explanation about shunyata or oneness and noneness.
So
that's more like the transmission.
So termas, which are unique to...
Talk English, so what's a terma?
Are those transmissions?
Those are Dharma treasures, revelations, yes, rediscovered or like that people come out of their own visions, not books that are passed down in library.
So are there more names for transmissions?
Yes,
okay.
There are many. Like there's Gyu, Tantra, which comes with empowerment. There's Lung, transmission or authorization, permission, and the sound, the vibration. And there's Mengak, the instruction on how to use those transmissions and empowerments. That's one triad, Gyu, Lung, and Mengak. Tantra, initiation, let's say. Lung, transmission, passing it on, authorization, the sound, the warm breath of Dakini, not just reading it in a book, not just hearing it on audio tape, not just hearing the teacher say it in the front of the room, but like the Lama was saying yesterday, but one-to-one in bed, like if I whispered it in your ear, so you actually get some spittle, the warm, moist, or Dakini in your ear, that's the pithy instruction. It's like, bleh. Not just mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on the beach with a crowd around. Even more personal. The warm breath of, moist breath of Dakini, not dry words. So there's levels, outer, inner, and secret, and top secret, meaning like subtler and subtler. To direct transmission, like from the source, not back in history. Right now, in the now, direct. Yes, questions? Who haven't we heard much from? Anybody? In the back row, Dr. Linda Wellner from the pits of Pittsburgh. When I was in Pittsburgh, they were having the G20 summit there. It was coming. There was going to be a lot of protests. So everybody's asking me about what advice I had to have a peaceful demonstration. And some smart people there started to call it Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
and talk about not the G20, but the G6 billion.
Well, now that you've been there, we're blessed. We have 6 rivers in Pittsburgh.
I'm blessed too. 6 rivers?
6 rivers.
I thought it was just 3 rivers.
So there are 4 actually for sure, but they're definitely 6. Maybe 13, possibly. If you count these twirly ones. I had 2 things came to me in traffic, and one is very interesting, is that the mala fits the steering wheel exactly. So I thought that would be a great fundraiser. We ought to just get a big mala and just fit around the steering wheel.
I like that.
Then we can pray while we're, watching the road. And the other is that the Prius, is now a tri-bread, a solar. So I want to invent a quadra bread or whatever it is with bodhicitta, so that you could run your whole thing on just this little light that you put out. And then, of course, if you get road rage, your car will stop. So it's infinitely
Write
larger.
that down. That's going to be our next product from Dzogchen Foundation.
So these were just...
The road rage car stopper. I like that. Questions? Yes. Jerry.
Lama Surya, since the Dzogchen teachings are complete, will there now be no more termas? Or
No, it's a living, that's why we have these new treasures and revelations, because vision is completely alive, not just complete. It was complete long ago before the termas were coming. When Padmasambhava taught it was complete, when Buddha taught it was complete. Before Buddha it was complete. When wasn't it complete? Everything is perfect, and nirvana is deathless and beginningless, but there's still more Buddhas coming. I mean, to put it in that way, your question is about time.
Yes,
there's still more Buddhas coming. Maitreya, the Buddha of the future Buddhas of America. It's like a tsunami of Buddhas.
So they'll need
overwhelming.
New termas, they'll need new revelations in the future?
The purpose of these revelations is to have new redactions, new versions of the ancient timeless teachings, like for new generations. For example, in these times, it's shorter. The terms are shorter. Not just the things that I write are shorter, the Twitters. Dujum Rinpoche had many of these revelations. He even wrote a couple in New York. He spent many years in New York in his late years. He died at a retreat center in France. He was there in the 70s and 80s half the time. And he wrote a couple for the Westerners that are short, like the short Nundro and the short Vajrakalaya. And they were termas. They were his revelations out of the very vast, long ones that he wrote in Tibet 20 years ago. So new times, new translations, and new versions. Good old, French wine in new bottles, or, French vines replanted in Napa Valley. So California wine, but just as good, some say. It's really nothing new under the sun. But yes, new termas in every generation, and new revealers, tertons, treasure masters.
Thank you.
Just like poetry, always more poetry. Because everything is poetry, is creative, divine creativity. And our teachers, whose pictures, some of them had these termas, and today we also have some new termas of living teachers. Some people even say they found some in America, like they found an arrowhead or something, and that sparked their revelation. Buddhist termas came out. Some say, I don't know. All of this is very new here on these shores, but definitely true. There's also different kinds of revelations. There's some that they say were planted in the mind stream, in the heart mind of the master in a previous life back then. Like Padmasambhava put it in somebody's, taught Yeshe Sogyal, his main disciple and consort, the young queen Yeshe Sogyal. And then she was reborn as somebody who had many of these termas down until today. Mind terma. Others say Padmasambhava hid his prayer book or his robe or his bell and dorje, and then hundreds of years later somebody found it in a cave or whatever, a master. And it was like the touchstone or the zap that brought forth the whole, Shakespearean experience. of spontaneous teaching and writing and empowerments, and the whole life work came from that. You can read about this in Tuku Tundup's book, The Secret Treasures of the Nyingmapa. Isn't that what it's called? The Secret Teachings of the Nyingmapa, the old school, about these treasures and revelations. It even has pictures of some of these things, like I think one's Padmasambhava is Vajra, another one is Milarepa is something, Bell or something. Last question. Yes, Aurora?
Good morning.
Good morning.
When we practice, there are moments where it's very, very quiet, and it's such a contrast to my mental activities of daily life that I wonder if there's a subtle manipulation of keeping things at bay, or I'm just not jumping on the wagon and there's no traffic jam. And
Excuse me. Yes, some of both. Let's emphasize the second one about the not jumping on the wagon, no? But you have to know for yourself, look into yourself very honestly. Like whether you're suppressing thoughts and avoiding feelings and numbing out, or things are naturally settling, you know. When you stop feeding the engine, the arising and dissolving, things calm down on themselves. Like when you stop shaking the snow globe, the flakes settle and it becomes very clear. But the flakes are still there if you shake, if you energy. Remember yesterday I said some distractions and agitation is not just mental. It can be energetic. It could be stimulated by your nicotine, caffeine, sugar, chemical intake, TV, stimulation, outer stimulation. It becomes biochemical or energy, subtle energy, prana stimulation. So you have to look into that, whether you're suppressing and holding on to something or resting in the natural state, like you're aware and thought-free. Thought-free is a great state, but it could also be an obstacle if you hold on to it, and then you can't like practice thinking Dzogchen. Like sitting is great meditation, but you also have to practice walking meditation and talking with awareness and so on. Not just become mute, dumb, in fact, dumb and mute. One of the practices in Dzogchen is, if you are very thought-free, is to shao pet and try to shatter that and see what happens. Because if it shatters, it's not the natural state, it's just a temporary veneer.